Annie, in the film, a reporter doesn't listen to you, wraps up the interview, and then kind of begs you for tickets. Have you ever had similar experiences like that?
Yeah.
But if any of you guys want to be on the list for tonight, we'll
Anybody.
just let us know right after this interview.
You got a cousin?
Yeah.
So, Bill and Carrie, you two have obviously worked together before on Portlandia and other projects. Can you talk about how this kind of came together between you two?
Carrie reached out to me with the script. They had done a lot of figuring out over a couple of years, it seemed like. And so it came to me pretty fully formed, and it seemed like the perfect gig for me. So yeah, I was psyched.
And how many years was the process in writing this?
Well, I approached Carrie in late 2017 when I was on tour for my last record, Mass Seduction, and I was like, please, let's do something. I want to do maybe a concert doc, something. I want to capture these shows, and I want to put sketches. Will you help me write it? And then it blossomed from there.
Yeah, I think we felt that the disparity between sort of St. Vincent and what she does on stage, which is heightened and has a certain amount of sophistication, the disparity between that and sketches was a little too much, and so we decided to make it into more of a narrative film and actually tell a story and have, make ourselves into sort of characters, and it became something bigger than what we had intended, but for the best.
Yeah.
So what message was this film kind of giving about music documentaries in general?
I don't know if message is a word I'd use.
Well, I think the artificiality of all documentaries is sort of something we talked about, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How there can never be, someone's always in control of the narrative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so we sort of mess with who that is, who is sort of in charge of this story. And that's sort of the struggle within the film. Mm-hmm. Is Annie in charge? Am I in charge? I play the director of her documentary. Or is the audience in charge because it's, up to their imagination, and also acknowledging that sometimes it's better not to know. The more you peel back the layers of someone, sometimes the less interesting they become. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things where we were trying to add complexity, where a lot of times documentaries are trying to sort of simplify things and peel them back. Yeah, we just wanted to have fun and make something
with our friends.
Yeah, and
it was fun
and kind of bonkers and weird.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, it is very stylized and weird. And so, who and what were your inspirations going into it?
Carrie sent me the script and also said, we want to make a Nicholas Roeg movie, mm-hmm. And so Nicholas Roeg was the end point for every decision being made.
And Peter Greenaway.
And Peter Greenaway especially became, it's fun to do really composed proscenium shots that Greenaway does and combine it with the psychological horror of a Nicholas Roeg movie. So that was the real guiding light of everything.
Annie, in the film, a reporter doesn't listen to you, wraps up the interview, and then kind of begs you for tickets. Have you ever had similar experiences like that?
Yeah. It's always something that I've struggled with in interviews because I sort of assume that the social contract is that we're both performing for each other. You're performing the role in some ways of interviewer, I'm performing the role of musician talking about the thing, and it's when the tape goes off, I'm okay, cool, now we can just be people. Right. And that, it turns out, is not the social contract that most people have. So that has led, I think, to a lot of misunderstandings, shall we say, in interviews, where I'm seen as cold or aloof, and I don't get it.
But if any of you guys want to be on the list for tonight,
anybody.
Just let us know right after this interview.
You got a cousin?
Yeah.
In Taylor Swift's documentary, which also premiered here at the festival, she talks about the double standard that female musicians are often dealing with when they're covered in the press. Do you care to speak a little bit about that as a female musician?
Well, it's kind of something that we talk about in more general terms, the idea that someone is supposed to be, larger than life and incredibly entertaining or inspirational, whatever it is, and then also really relatable and down to earth. And the simple fact, like, is that most people who get into this kind of job are kind of crazy, and that there's not a world where those, you know, people kind of want both things and kind of want neither too. So, would you like to speak on being a female musician?
I think you answered it perfectly.
Thank you.
And now for my take.
Yeah. But more importantly,
Go for it.
yeah.
Did you set out to kind of challenge any stereotypes about musicians with this project?
I only have one stereotype comes to mind, which is that musicians like sleep till noon and are really disorganized. And that's not true.
Yeah, and it's also just hard work to be on tour.
Yeah.
It's not, you know,
It's not particularly glamorous, so
not just like champagne and groupies.
yeah. Ew.
Yeah, in the movie, the scene where you were playing on your Switch, sorry. So are you an avid gamer? And if so, what games are you playing right now?
Okay, so fun fact. I needed a gaming console for that scene, and one of our producers had the Switch and had Zelda, the new Zelda, in it, and that was my favorite game growing up, but I hadn't really gamed since then. And then I was doing it just for the movie, but then no, I was
like we needed to roll, and you were playing.
I was like,
Zelda.
no, hold on, guys, wait, I'm about to get this tree branch. So, but it was, but now I'm obsessed with that game in particular. I probably put 300 hours into it.
Which means you're an expert.
Will you start live streaming on Twitch?
If the money's right.
Let's talk about the Dakota Johnson cameo. How did you approach her about that scene, and what was that whole process like?
She's just a friend, and she's such a great girl and a great actor, and a really great sport for what was a very strange ask.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
What was the exact ask?
Well, I think it was originally like, Dakota, will you play my girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, will you put on lingerie and come hang out?
Yeah.
But, that was one of the scenes.
That was one of the scenes.
Yeah.
In that scene, you were also talking, Carrie, about the importance of intimacy coordinators. And so what was the role of the intimacy coordinator on that set during that time?
Oh, no, there
wasn't
there
one
wasn't
even
one.
on our set. Yeah, ironically, but
You were the intimacy coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did not have one, but they also, I mean, there was, I guess, it wasn't nudity, but it was, you know.
It was close to it.
Yeah, but it was, I have worked with intimacy coordinators as a director. I think they're really great. I think but in this situation, since there wasn't actual sex or even nothing on screen, we didn't actually need one.
It's
Yeah.
helpful that you knew each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
and that-
good friends, so it's okay.
Yeah, but we talked about things beforehand. It was, you know, choreographed and yeah.
And Carrie, as a female filmmaker, how do you feel about women being snubbed by the Oscars this year?
No, please.
I'm of two minds. One is I think there is something a little arbitrary about awards. I mean, I think you know, there were actually so many great movies this year, many which were directed by women. But I think looking to institutions as the first place for validation is not necessarily where we need to be, like, or we need to change the institution. So we need to keep working on that. I mean, it's, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's frustrating, but I think that I'm also just think like, let's get a new academy going or something. You know, yeah.
Bill, what do you think?
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, but there were a lot of great movies. I don't know if you can just say, I mean, you feel the same way about stuff like that, right? It's just,
I hate lists and awards and getting into film festivals. It's really cool, actually. But yeah, I think
picking best of something is,
picking the best is it's like fantasy football. It's like just great movies came out this year. I mean, this is a total tangent, not the answer to your question, but.
But no, but that is how I feel.
Yeah.
Like great movies came out this year, and trying to, you know, it's going to be arbitrary.
Art awards are a little it's a specious, I think.
That being
premise.
said, if there are awards that they want to give to the Nowhere In,
Absolutely. And
let us know and
Absolutely.
we accept. Thank you.
And thank you for those Grammys.